What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. And we got something for you. You can see it by the weird, creepy green graphics. That it's 5 random questions, and it's back. It's back again. We've been kicking ass with it, having a lot of fun. We got a very, very good guest, special guest with us tonight. You guys know him from Shot from the Point, and maybe at your weird street corner if you live in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. It is the one, the only, Frenchy Ben. What's going on, my friend?
I'm doing great, Dave.
I appreciate you taking the time to mosey your way on in to 5 random questions. Should be a lot of fun. Are you sure you know what you're getting into?
No, not necessarily, but I prepared myself. So I did my spaghetti sauce yesterday, and I cut my toenails this morning. So I'm ready, Dave, for 5 random questions.
I think those are good preparation tools. Spaghetti sauce and the clipping of the toenails. So yeah, I think that'll be good for you. All right. Well, for those people who may not know you, why don't you go ahead and give them a little bit of background? Just tell them who you are, what you do on Shot from the Point and stuff like that. Who is Frenchy Ben? That's not one of the questions, but just give the kids a little bit of a crash course real quick.
Who's Frenchy Ben? Frenchy Ben is a French guy from around Montreal, a 40-year-old guy who's still a teen in his heart. So I'm a hockey lover, and in October 2014, I've listened to a Shot from the Point podcast with Jeff and Jake Link, and that's the first time I saw those guys. So I decided to call in and ask a question. So and from there on, I became a fan, and then a part of the team.
There you go. Well, there you go. Well, it's time to get into the Thunderdome, Ben. I hope you survive this. Are you ready? You know the rules. I ask you 5 questions, and as long as you answer them to my satisfaction, you get to turn the tables on me at the very end and ask any question your heart desires to me. Do you accept the terms, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing off. Question number 1. All right, man. I'm going right for the jugular, okay? I'm not messing around.
Uh-oh.
Why the picture? Why no live video like the rest of us? I mean, Kenny and I are chuds, yet we brave this whole damn thing. We go on video. What's the deal? Were you burned by acid? That's what I'm going with. And also, why the monkey? Is there meaning behind the monkey? Ben, tell us, man.
There's a lot of layers about that. First of all, I'm a guy who likes technology. I'm on YouTube and the internet since at least 95, 96. YouTube since 2005. But I'm some sort of conspiracist, and I don't want companies to accumulate some information about me. So I tried over the years to give them the least I could. So that's why it's only an image. The image is coming from an old, not an old woman, but a woman that I met some years ago. Mm-hmm. We saw each other 2 times. We just had fun, and it was her thumbnail. It was.
Okay.
So I took it from her, and I think it fits with me because it makes me remember of her, and at the same time, we're all monkeys.
We are all monkeys. That's true.
We are supposed to descend from them. So I decided, because Shot from the Point is a goofy show, I thought it fit.
I think it fits. I like it, man. I think it's become synonymous with you. When people think Frenchy Ben, they think that monkey, and it's wonderful. Actually, I'm a big fan of it, even though I do think that you are hiding because either you're in the witness protection program or you were burned by acid. Either way, I'm not judging.
Okay. I'm going to open a little bit the valves here. It's partly because of my job. My job is in the public, so if I go, if what I do on YouTube is too obnoxious, it could give me some troubles, I guess. So
that's a way of protecting yourself.
Yeah, but it's been at least a year that I have a reflection about that, and since YouTube is striking people about monetization,
Oh, yeah.
um, I want to fight that system, and I know that one day we will have to. So
Yes, the fight's coming.
yeah, yeah,
It's coming.
it's going to be a long fight,
It
and
is.
it has already began. So maybe one day I'll have to reveal who I am. I think about doing it.
I think you should wear a mask when you do. Like, just show half your face. It'd be cool, like Phantom of the Opera style. That'd be badass. Keep some mystery, man. I kind of like it. I have to
Yeah,
reveal something. I got to reveal one thing. Yesterday, you shared with me a picture where I did not get to see your face in any of the any of the pictures
no,
that you sent
that's right.
me. But I can confirm one thing: Frenchy Ben has a man bun, and it's glorious. Frenchy Ben has a man bun, and it's fantastic. I knew you had a man bun when I've heard you talk. I just pictured man bun, and I got it confirmed. I was very happy about that. It made me very happy. I used to have a man bun, but now I have no hair.
Since I'm a teen, I mostly had long hair.
Yeah.
When I went to university, I cut my hair short, but after that, I made them grow
Now
again.
it's party time all the time. I get you. I get you. All right, good answer. I like that. First question out of the way. We're all loose. Everybody's loosened up. Let's go ahead and go to question number 2. All right.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
you have done work for me in the past where you've called in and you've done boxing breakdowns and stuff like that. And most of the time, when you call in and when you talk about things, you're very combat sports oriented. You love boxing, wrestling, hockey, basically anything where man meets man. So
That's
let me
right.
ask you, what turned you on to this, man? What was your discovery moment of this?
Yeah, to me, it's not a precise moment. I talked about it maybe once on your show when I was a kid. Let's say from 2 to 5 year old.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend was coming from Asia, and when I began school in kindergarten, my best friend came from Laos. You said
Oh, okay.
it's Myanmar.
Myanmar, yeah, Laos, yeah.
Yeah, so from 5 to 10, he was my best friend, and I was often at his place. And his place was a special place to me because it was a different culture. His two parents were not speaking French. His mother was speaking English. So the thing that we did, because he had a brother,
Mm-hmm.
so we were the five together watching wrestling. That's the thing that they liked the most. And we were all together and we were able to communicate more because we were feeling the same emotions.
Oh.
And yeah, and his mother was great in that sense because she was shouting and she was into it. And I don't know if she was really believing in it or she was trying to sell it to us, but
Yeah.
it was great. And at the same time, my friend's father, he was a captain in the army in Laos, and when he came in Montreal, he was in a circuit of bootleg tapes. He was producing some radio shows
Mm-hmm.
for people that came from Laos. So he was producing a radio show on a tape and putting music from there, and he was selling them in Montreal.
Oh, okay.
And at that time, we had video cassette with beta and VHS.
Betamax, yeah.
Oh yeah, and he brought back some tapes, some films, or some wrestling from Japan, from everywhere. So I didn't know what I was watching, but when I was young, I was watching wrestling from Japan, UWF, the Mid South, the AWA. So I saw a lot of Bruiser Brody and Stan
You
Hansen
just
and
got inundated with all this just pure freaking man. You know, it was just constant stream of just combat sports. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so there's not a precise moment, but the time I was with that guy, that he was my friend, uh, he's the one who introduced me to combat sports.
That's very cool. And combat sports is very primal. You know, they have a way of just tapping into something deep inside of you that a lot of people try to repress. So that's why it's inside of everybody. We're all animals, you know. We all enjoy car wrecks. We all enjoy seeing that type of competition. It's the most purest form of competition. Yeah, you could watch two guys race, but watching two guys pummel each other, proving which man is greater on that night, there's just something about it. So,
Oh, it's more visceral.
yes, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
in combat sports, I never really practiced combat sports.
Uh-huh.
The only thing I did was judo.
Judo. Yeah, I could see you. I could see you being a judo guy. I always
Yeah.
think you sound just like GSP. Part of me hopes that you are GSP because that would be
No,
great. That
uh,
I've been
yeah,
talking to
but
George St. Pierre this whole time. It's amazing.
I know people that know as GSP,
Oh,
but
cool.
I never met him.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. All right, good answer, my friend. Question number 3. Now, staying with that whole combat sports vibe, let me ask you this. If you can transport to any live sporting event in history, anything, what would it be and why? Where would you go? What would you go see?
Wow.
You get one. You get one moment in all the sporting world, whatever has ever transpired. You got one. What would it be?
Okay, my first thought, are you talking combat sports?
Anything that you would want to see. Combat sports, yeah, probably would be the main one. But if you want to go see like the Miracle on Ice, that's fine too.
Okay, yeah, yeah. But okay, my first thought was the Rumble in the Jungle, but
Ooh.
I'm gonna say, how do you call that in English? The 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 Century series, which means Canada against the USSR in 1972 in hockey.
Oh. Oh,
I'd
that's
like to see. I'd like to have been there to see all the matches. There was 8 matches between
oh,
the two.
good God.
So there were some in the USSR and some in Canada. At the time in Canada, I wasn't born, but
Mhm.
people say that everybody went crazy about that. The country stopped to watch that. Even during classes, teachers were bringing TVs to show the games to kids.
Oh wow. I believe it. You guys are a hockey culture up there, man. That's very true. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and the team that Canada brought to the USSR was insanely good. And Canada went against the USSR just for the fun of it. They didn't expect the team to be that good.
Yeah.
But when they played the first period, they realized that these guys were ready to fight.
They were in
And
for a series, yeah.
oh yeah, they were talented, and the Russians they were practicing all the time together. Some of the players would have been big time stars in the NHL.
And even back then, they played a different style hockey than virtually the rest of the world. So it was really a styles clash in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, and in that sense, it's still a type of play that I would use if I was a coach in the NHL. Because, for example, instead of throwing the puck at the end of the other team's zone to get a change, they were passing to the defenseman. 4 players were changing, and then uh, the 4 new got the puck from the defenseman, and then he went and changed. So they kept possession of the puck.
Yeah. Which I like. That's a good style. That's pretty cool. Who won that series, by the way?
I think it's a tie. What was the result?
Oh, how European. We'll call you the Europe. The EU wins a tie. Jesus, I hate that.
I'm gonna come back to you with that. I'm looking for it right now.
Google's a powerful thing, but that's fair
Oh
enough.
yeah.
That's fair enough. If it was a series of 8, it very well could have ended in a tie. So, More than likely, that's what happened. That's pretty sweet. Good answer, man. I like that. I like that. I'm not expecting that. I was not expecting that answer. Very cool. All right. Well, we know in that same realm that you love to talk about Canadian athletes, but not just Canadian athletes, the Quebecois athletes as well, quite often. So let me ask you, man, in the boxing, wrestling, sportsman world, who should we know that we just don't? Give me a couple names that we should know in the boxing world, the wrestling world, whatever, that we should know, but we don't.
Oh, that's a good one again. Let's say in boxing, we had great years, and right now we're going into a kind of a slump in Quebec. We still have Adonis Stevenson, who's a champion. Jean Pascal is still, I think he's going to fight. You have to know who's David Lemieux.
Yes.
If you don't know who's David Lemieux, he's kind of a little, really little Mike Tyson. So he has punching power. I would love to see him fight Saul Canelo Alvarez one day, because I think the two of them could give a great fight, because styles makes fights.
Yes, it does.
But right now in Quebec, there was a guy, but he had not an injury, but he had a sickness, and I think he cannot compete anymore. His name was Côté. His nickname was Apu. So, but right now I don't have a name for you. In hockey, I'm gonna tell you Nicolas Roy. He might be one of the first picks next year in hockey.
Really?
Yeah. No, you cut me there. I don't have a brand new guy that I know is going to be a big time star, because they're there. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I was watching yesterday a match between Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and PCO, Pierre-Carl Ouellet. It was a great fight. So Kevin Owens is small in that fight, because he was in shape at the time.
Right. He was definitely not as rotund as he would later become.
No. But you see right there the talent of the guy.
Oh, yeah. And now he's your universal champion. He's a champion of the universe.
To me, let's say I'm going to pick Kevin Owens, because even if people know him, I think he's so much better than we think he is.
Yeah,
he is really bright about wrestling and the psychology. Let's say just the match this week. The match begins, he get out of the ring. So he gets some heat. He builds his persona. He's just bright.
Yeah,
and even when he talks, he's a French guy, and he's better than most of the Americans there.
He owns everything about himself. He owns everything about the wrestling world. He just owns it. If there's a problem with him physically, or if he stumbles on a word every now and then, which is rare, he owns it. It's everything about him. It's a complete package. But let me make a little bit of an amendment to the question, just a tiny bit. Since there's really not any hot young Quebecian stars in wrestling, who's an all-time great Montreal-based or Quebec-based wrestler that you would like people to know about that they probably don't give enough credit to?
Okay, I'm gonna name one and mention one. The first one is not a real. He's not a Quebecer because he was born in France. It's Eddie Carpentier, Edouard Carpentier. He was one of the first high flyers. He was really into shape. He was some sort of Neville of the time.
Oh, okay.
The second one is the father of the Rougeaus, because for us in Quebec, our art family are the Rougeaus.
Yeah, the Rougeaus, yeah.
Yeah, you knew Raymond and Jacques, who became the Monty. But their father at the time, he was a wrestler. He was a bouncer in clubs. He was known to be a tough man in Quebec, and he brought the legacy of the Rougeaus. He was really hot, maybe at the same time as Mad Dog Vachon in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And these two guys, Mad Dog and Johnny Rougeaus, they were known to be real tough men, even though Mad Dog was kind of goofy in the ring and he was playing his part, but that man, he was known to be rough and mean.
Definitely some stories in the wrestling world that pretty damn incredible. I agree with that. It really is. Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. Just the Rougeaus in general. I agree. That's a good answer. Good answer. I got one more for you. I got one final, and this one's a challenge question.
Oh, no.
Yeah, real simple, man. This is easy. This is super easy. Everybody always has things that they wish would be out one way or the other, you know, especially within Shot from the Point and everything. You don't always get a lot of highlight time sometimes. So let me ask you this, man. You've been around for a couple of years now with us and stuff. What is something that you secretly wished the fans, the viewers, people knew about you that they don't already?
Whoa. You know, I'm not that ego driven. I'm not the kind of the type of guy who wants to be famous or known. Because even if I have the taste of podcasting and I want to do more, I'm the type of guy who wants to be behind the scene.
Yeah.
Do I really want people to know something specifically about me? No, seriously, no.
There's nothing that you wish people would know, just to have a little bit better of an understanding of who you are. That's interesting. It's honest. I like that. I actually like the answer that there's nothing that you really want to give. That's completely fine. Some people want to be understood. Some people yearn to be understood. Most people who are in podcasting or any type of entertainment always feels like maybe they're not quite understood as much as they feel they should be. And for you to be completely comfortable, it's actually quite refreshing.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but you know, you begin to let loose or let go in some aspects of your life. Maybe, for example, 4 years ago, I was more angry, and because you keep it inside, and it grows and it grows when you don't let it out or let it go, or
resentment, anger, whatever the case. Yeah, it will eat you up inside.
Yeah, I was a lot into that, and that's part of why I listen to all of you guys, because I took a conscious decision to, because I was a lot of news junkie, and I was always into that and into negativity, and I was building scenarios in my head, and being maybe a bit paranoid because of all everything I was listening to. So I decided, okay, I don't want to know nothing about that. I don't watch the news anymore, and I chose to come back to wrestling because, to me, it fills me, but at the same time, it's empty. It's like eating a Big Mac. It's empty calories. So it entertains you. I'm able to get into it and enjoy the guy's performance, and it empties my head, and I like it. It's like that since maybe 1 year and a half, and I think it's going to help me for the next phase of my life. Just go and do what you want to do, which I have to decide.
Yeah.
Because I never know. That's my main problem. I never know what I want to do with my life.
Well, I mean, most of the time, who does? You know, I mean, people like to talk like they have a clear direction. But the reality is, most people, no matter how sure and confident that they might come off, most people are just wandering around, either looking for an opportunity they didn't know that they were seeking, or that break. You know, not everybody, yeah, they could say, I want to be this, I want to be that, but actually having a plan to achieve it. If you don't have a plan, well, what's the point of having a goal? You know, you got to have a way to get to that goal. You can't just say, oh, I want to be president of the United States. Well, what are you going to do to get yourself on that path? You know what I mean? So I get that, Frenchy. I get that.
Yeah, but yeah, I have to choose the path I want to go to and just do it. Because every time I decided something and I put my effort into it, it works.
Yeah.
But I have to choose. And since a while, I don't choose enough, or I choose to do nothing. And maybe it's a good thing. I'll see in the future, but I'm feeling right now that I'm in a waiting phase for the next step.
Well, you know, as a very famous Canadian band, Rush, once said, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Yeah.
So, you know, I totally get you there, my friend. Good stuff. Well, I would say you have more than satisfied my curiosity, because that's really what this whole show is about, is I am a nosy little bitch, and I like to know things about everybody. So you satisfied me. You fed me deep down inside, so I think it's more than fair that you get to turn the tables and ask me whatever question you have on your mind.
That's great, even though I'm not fully satisfied of my last answer, but it's okay. It's part of the game.
Well, if you want to elaborate, feel free.
No. It could be too long.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to ask you one big question, Dave.
Bring it on.
And I asked the help of Jeff the Huff Hoffman because I didn't know if you talked about that before on a baseball show. Because the thing I'm going to ask you to do is to build your best 9 all-time baseball alignment.
Oh, my God.
All the players that you're going to choose, they must have been playing during your lifetime.
Oh,
and you have
Christ.
only one pitcher.
How am I? This will take an hour.
It could.
I can't. No, I'm not going to. I can't do that. I can't.
No?
Well, how can I do that? I don't want to sit here for the next 30 minutes. Oh, my goodness. No, that's almost impossible for me to do.
Okay, if you want, I have 4 other questions.
Yeah. Hit me with another one that I can reasonably answer within a decent amount of time. I don't want to sit. That'll take literally. I could sit here for a half. That's 10 guys I got to name, Ben. Jesus Christ. Yeah, give me one I can actually answer.
Okay, I'm going to give you the topics and you'll choose. There's one about movies.
Okay.
One about wrestling.
Okay.
One about gaming.
Okay.
And one about good or bad.
Good or bad? That's intriguing.
Okay. You have to choose. You can become one person.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you choose? You want to be Darth Vader or Neo in the Matrix?
Ooh, well, Jesus. Do I want to be, which Messiah do I want to become? You know what? I picked Darth Vader, and I'll tell you why. Because of all the evil things that Darth Vader did in his life, and there are many. Darth Vader did end up fulfilling the prophecy. He actually is the one who brought balance to the Force. He was the one who killed the Emperor. Not Luke. Darth Vader did. As Anakin at that point. He salvaged himself. Now these new movies are kind of throwing a little bit of a monkey wrench into it, but Darth Vader was still who he was promised to be. And I think the most beautiful part of that story that never gets talked about is sometimes, no matter how far off the rails one can go, there's always redemption.
That's part of the story, yes.
Yeah. So for me, I picked Darth Vader mainly because Neo's a big pussy, and it's just basically the telling of Jesus Christ. That's basically what the Matrix is. It's the Bible.
Yeah, but Darth Vader maybe is he's the representation of the devil.
In some ways, I think I think you could make that argument. I think you can make that argument. But actually, you know what? I think it's more apt than you might realize. I think that's a really good argument. Yeah.
Because okay, because personally I choose Neo, but I like the way you answered the question.
Well, yeah, it was pretentious. So.
but if you seek on the internet, there's a woman called Sophia. What's her name? I had it in my mind. Stewart. Mm-hmm. And she says that she's the one who wrote The Matrix and Terminator.
Oh, okay.
And she says that the two of them goes together. It was one movie.
Oh.
But it's interesting because she wrote a book. She doesn't speak just out of her mind. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting to see because when you listen to her, you have a different approach or a version of what it could have been.
Fair enough. I'll make sure to look that up. I appreciate that. That's good information, Ben. I do appreciate that. But I answered your question quite well, and you answered mine, and I greatly appreciate it, sir. Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah. It was. I was nervous, as I told you, and it went super great.
I would say that is very true. Now, if you need more Frenchy Ben inside of you, man, make sure you check out Shot from the Point. You can find him there quite frequently. Also, in the comment section of my chat, quite frequently. He's always there muddling around, and every now and then he does grace us with his presence on various different podcasts. Is there anywhere else that people can find you? Do you want to throw out your Twitter for people to contact you? Go ahead and throw out anything that you'd like to at this point.
I have no Twitter, but if you want to listen to a French podcast about hockey, there's a new one with the Germinator and Jeff Ménard-Asselin. Mm-hmm. It's called Le Tir de la Pointe, which is a French version of Shot from the Point. We are less obnoxious. We are more into pure hockey, but it's a fun show. I have fun with the guys. The Germinator is the host of the show. Mm-hmm. And for now, we just released the fourth show for this season.
Well, that's awesome, man. So there you go. Make sure you check them out, man. That's good stuff. I'll make sure to put that in the description box of this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Random 5. And if you'd like to be on Random 5, go ahead and put it either in the description box or hit me up on Twitter at ThatOnDaveV. Why you should be on here. I need a story. I need you to have something to say. A story meaning something that you have to say. I don't want to ask you questions about your college life. I want real shit. I need to be satisfied deep down inside my soul. So if you got something for me, go ahead and hit me up. I'd love to have you on. Love to hear from you. And other than that, we'll see you next time from right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. And check out everyone in the community. Make sure you also check out the featured channels list. Because remember, if you don't have talent, have talented friends like those guys. All right? And Frenchy Ben. Thank you, Frenchy. I appreciate it. You guys have yourself a copious day. We'll see you next time. Peace.